What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over the Scavenger's Fate, the new Slug Shotgun in Act 2. Slug Shotguns have always been one of my favorite special types to use in PvE. This one's quickly becoming my favorite in the energy slot. In this video we'll be going over why that is, going over the different god rolls, and a really cool build with this shotgun. So starting off with the left column perks, you could try out something like Dual Loader, reload 2 shots at a time, but most time with slugs you can reload faster, you can actually shoot the weapon, so not necessarily needed. Could run a slide shot to avoid reloading the weapon whenever you slide. Be pretty good for journal play, but by far the standout perk that makes this thing unique and very interesting is going to be Discord, where final blows with another weapon grants this weapon increased speed for aiming down sights, accuracy, and airborne effectiveness for a short time. When Discord is active, final blows refund ammo. So getting a final blow with one of our other 2 weapons will give us Discord for 6 seconds on the shotgun, and this perk will refresh anytime you get a final blow with a different weapon, so you don't have to wait for the timer to expire. It'll just constantly go back up to 6 seconds. And then when you have Discord active, every single final blow will refund the ammo, not from reserves, from thin air, making it truly have infinite ammo and giving you the ability to avoid reloading because it goes straight into the magazine. And overall, I love using slug shotguns just for general play. Whenever a major or mini boss, whoever it is, gets close, champion, you just take them out with your slug, go back to your primary, back and forth. So this perk works really well with my playstyle for slugs, where I just pull it out for the higher level targets, and now I will have the ability to have way more ammo, basically infinite, and avoid reloading at the same time. Basically everything you need from left column perk on a special weapon in PvE. So what can we pair that with in the right? Well, you have the classic damage perks of Warple or Frenzy. Both are going to be 15% and very consistent, always there. So both are a decent choice. You could pair it with Harmony, which makes a lot of sense. You get a final blow with a different weapon. It'll proc Discord and Harmony for both roughly 7 seconds, and they'll overlap very nicely. But Harmony is only 20%, so I think we can do better. You could try Desperate Measures with a ability build. They did ×3 very easily, and ×3 is going to be 30% increase. But by far, my favorite perk on a slug is going to be Surrounded. Surrounded is going to be 40% enhanced up to 47. With shotgun, obviously you're going to be surrounded all the time. So you can take advantage of the highest damage buff on this weapon very easily with this perk. Definitely my favorite slug perk, probably tied right up there with Recombination for just general play. So my role I would be going for personally is going to be Discord plus Surrounded. Another perk you could try is going to be Destabilizing Rounds. I'm not a huge fan still because of the cooldown timer on the perk. If there's no cooldown timer at all, if it was more like incandescent, I would definitely strongly recommend it for the build I'm going to be using in this video. But with the cooldown timer, I would just stick with Surrounded. And if we look at the DPS of Surrounded, shooting off one mag took a little over 4 seconds, and as we mentioned, reloading slugs is faster than the rate of fire, so that shouldn't drop off at all as you have to reload. Looking at DPS, the base is over 60,000, then with enhanced Surrounded, it would go up to almost 90,000, which is obviously very good for a special weapon. Pretty much higher than anything but exotics. So overall, this shotgun is incredibly strong. Slug shotguns with Surrounded or Recombination are my go-to for just general play in PvE. Over the years, I was a huge fan of the ad clear specials, but since 3.0 subclasses have been introduced along with Prismatic, this is not something I think I need anymore. I've gone back to using special weapons that are just good for taking out majors and higher health targets, and these things are definitely the king of that category, and have come back to being a staple in my loadouts. So what is a cool build you can do with this shotgun? Well, on Titan, revolving around the no backup plans, these gauntlets are now all about over shields. So while you have a Void super equipped, which means you could do this on Prismatic, rapid shotgun final blows or defeating a powerful combatant with a shotgun will grant you a Void over shield and start health regeneration. Then when you have that Void over shield, shotguns deal additional damage, and those final blows will refresh the overshield and the timer. The damage increase for shotguns while you have a Void overshield is going to be a 35% buff. This will not stack with other empowering buffs in the game, but still is among the highest, and will just make your high damage shotgun do even more damage. And getting the Void overshield is very easy. It only takes 2 red bar final blows with a shotgun to proc it, or 1 major tier of enemy or higher will proc the overshield too. Then once you actually have the overshield, every final blow will refresh the timer and fully refresh the Void overshield. With the buffs in this episode to Void overshields, making them more durable and stronger, that is obviously pretty good. So where do we go from that for the build? Well, we have Discord on our shotgun, makes it have infinite ammo for accurate, whatever we want to use it on. But obviously using your shotgun for every single red bar isn't the most efficient thing ever if we're trying to really build into it and only use the shotgun. So how do we fix that? Well, we make our void shotgun all about volatile rounds. And we're going to do that first off with the controlled demolition aspect. This is going to be all about chaining volatile. Whenever you hit a target with volatile, it will then spread to more enemies and make them explode. This is a huge chain reaction. And to initially get the volatile rounds going, we have the fragment, the Echo of Instability, where grenade final blows will give us volatile rounds. So now with our Discord procced on our shotgun, every final blow will do a huge chain reaction of spreading volatile and volatile explosions, making it way more efficient for Ackler, taking advantage of the infinite ammo on our shotgun. And from there, how do we get our grenade back very quickly to always have uptime on volatile rounds? Well, we have Starvation. When we pick up an Orb or Void Breach, get Devour. Then since we're using Devour and Void Overshield, we have Persistence to increase the timers on both. Then the final fragment spot is kind of a freebie. I like to use this one right here to create more Void Breaches with all the volatile final blows. And more Void Breaches is really nice because there's going to be a lot of things that we benefit from picking up the Void Breaches. The most important one is going to be Supernova, where after picking up a Void Breach, our next Void Source will create a large weakening pulse, debuffing everything by 15%, increasing our damage even further. Then when we pick up the Void Breaches, we also have Served Cold to get more melee energy back. Our melee is very nice in this build to suppress, which will be good for overload, and another way to proc Void Overshields. And finally, we have Power from Pain, another way to proc Devour when we get all the rapid final blows on the weakened targets from Supernova. This isn't strong enough, in my opinion, to drop the fragment to proc Devour, but it's just another way to proc Devour, and there's not much else to use in these slots of the artifact for this build, so why not? And our second aspect is going to be Bulwark, just for the fact when we have our Void Overshield, we get our grenade back faster, and it will buff our melee. So you could run like a 1-2 punch shotgun in top slot 2, something like the Perfect Paradox, and run triple shotgun in this build. It's honestly not that bad at all. You could also just run Bastion, or another way to get your Void Overshield by putting down your Barricade. But you're having your Overshield so often in this build that I don't think this is necessary, and I'd rather just stick with the Bulwark. And finally, looking at all of our mods, pretty much the basic stuff, nothing really crazy worth mentioning. All the grenade stuff, like usual, plus whatever reserves, resist, and stuff like that you want. And finally, with our weapons, really outside of the shotgun, you can use whatever you want. I have been using the Acris just to take advantage of the 35% buff on my power weapon also. Why not? Makes a lot of sense. And given the fact that we'll have the increased melee damage, we have to use our melee to proc French Barrel on the Ledge of Acris. You know, good way to take advantage of Bulwark, I guess. And finally, whatever primary you want, I try to use something with subsistence, auto-loading, something like that, to avoid reloading, because you're only going to be popping in your primary out to get a final blow, then go straight to your shotgun. And like I mentioned, you could just run like double special, mountaintop, or even like a 1-2 punch shotgun. But I think at times having something with a little bit of range is kind of nice, and that's why I generally stick with a primary. But overall, this build is surprisingly good, which is kind of weird. It's definitely a different playstyle that really isn't like anything else in the game. Basically, the loop is you just get a final blow with your primary or Acris, whatever it is, to proc Discord. Make sure to throw your grenade to proc volatile rounds. Then your shotgun turns into this like infinite ammo, chain reaction, high damage special weapon that also procs weaken this season through the artifact. So your shotgun kind of just does everything. And you just have to make sure to get a final blow with your primary every like 6-7 seconds. You'll have your grenade every like 4 or 5 final blows through Devour. Make sure to throw that to constantly proc volatile rounds. And yeah, it actually is a surprisingly strong build that is really fun. Definitely check it out. I'll link it in the description down below. Also, it's a build to take advantage of the broken, bugged Sentinel Shield light attack damage right now, which is really broken, incredibly high. And so here you go. You have a build to run on Sentinel. And yeah, I think that's be it for the video. There might be some gameplay left. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.